Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's an all-you-can-geek spoiler cast for Amazon's Fallout series. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Gass, joined by Mike Sneedy
What's up?
and Tony
Hey,
Korkanakis.
hey, hey.
Welcome, guys. Welcome, listeners and viewers. Now, you'll notice Corey's not on this podcast because this is a spoiler cast. And guess what? Corey hasn't finished the show yet. So if you have not finished Fallout, you should, without a doubt. It's fantastic. It's a great series. We've talked about it on the podcast, spoiler free on that podcast. So go check out those episodes previously. But this will be talked like we'll spoil things. Not, we're just going to talk about the show, what we loved and everything. So that's your final warning. Okay, that's it. Here we go, guys. So this is the Fallout spoiler cast, guys. This we've talked about this show on the podcast. This it is just a phenomenal show for me. Like I just like I can rewatch it. Like I just like I'm gonna put it on. Like and it's crazy to think that. I don't know what it is about it. Maybe it's the video game tie-in aspect for me. I just was so into it, so into it. Um, and I don't know. It's like number one show for me right now in the year, and there's a lot still coming, but it's a great start, right?
Yeah, phenomenal start.
Yeah,
I mean, I've been a fan of Fallout since, the first one. My best friend was over and we were talking about it because he's the one that introduced it to me because he was the only person I knew that had a PC for gaming back in the day. Again, back in the mid 90s or so.
yeah,
And there were just so many isometric games because that's how Fallout started.
yeah,
So like it wasn't like the graphics were particularly impressive. It's not like they were bad, but like you played those games for the story and the character building and just the different pathing that you could do with how you wanted to respond to people. It was not just hey, this game's gonna play out the exact same way no matter how many times you play it.
hmm
So seeing this come to the small screen in a big way,
yeah.
um, had me with reservations. And
Same here.
we joked about it even on this podcast. But as we got closer and closer and started seeing more trailers and more footage, I was like, this looks good. And honestly, I'm blown away. It surpassed all my expectations, and I have very few criticisms of it. Like, and just
Yeah,
to be able to tell my preteen self, like, hey, you're gonna watch a Fallout show one day, and it's gonna be the biggest deal in America.
yeah. I mean, it took the. I mean, that's the thing. It is. People are talking about it like crazy. It's in the news. People like this is like I hate to bring up Game of Thrones, but this is like Game of Thrones
Yeah,
status. Like
absolutely.
it's in the media everywhere. It's
A lot
like
of critical talk.
I remember Battlestar Galactica and how big that was back when it was airing on TV. Celebrities were talking about the show. Who's the next Cylon? And like the only thing about this show that I feel may have hurt it was the launch of all episodes at one time.
Mm-hmm.
It was great for us, but yeah. I mean, Mike, what do you think? Fantastic. You don't even watch a lot of
Yeah,
shows, so this is huge.
no, I mean, I might actually be a little lower on it than you guys. I liked it a lot. Actually, I think that this is my second favorite show, even though there's a show that's not even done yet of the two shows I've watched this year, but I still like it. Um, no, I came into the Fallout series of Fallout 3, it's 3, 4, New Vegas, and but I've been a big fan of that, and I was very skeptical of this coming in. I think actually, if we go back to my bold predictions for the year, I think I said this would be terrible, um, and it's not. It's way better than I expected. And I'm most impressed really by them capturing the visual style and the humor. Sort of. That's what I was most worried about. Although it is a bit cleaner than the games are in general, like visually a little bit. But I'm not upset about it really. So yeah, we can get into it a little deeper.
Yeah,
But
let's do
in
it.
general, I really liked it.
Yeah, so let's do that. So we don't go. We're not going to go episode to episode here, folks. We're just going to talk about the series and the characters that we loved and scenes. So like just talking about the main protagonist. Well, there's a few, but like Lucy was a phenomenal character to bring us on this journey, essentially of the game. Like her growth as a character throughout it was just awesome because it felt like the player, right? I mean, it's remember what you.
No,
That's
absolutely
what I think I
does.
attached to it
Yeah.
so well. Yeah,
They nailed it because
even like yeah,
yeah.
they did. They nailed it. Go on, go on.
No, I
Yeah,
was just gonna say because the whole shtick of Fallout games, and I hope this isn't a spoiler alert for people who haven't played games but watched the show. But this is how almost all of them begin, where it's like, hey, you're a vault dweller, and your whole world gets turned upside down very quickly. Everything that you thought you knew about life, about the world, about people, just gets totally fucking thrown out the window, lit on fire, etc., etc. And most characters, NPCs don't adapt very well, and your character is kind of forced to do that. And I really feel that Lucy encapsulates that because, and you can see that through the episodes where she tries to be like her upbeat, positive, cheery self, even to complete strangers in the wasteland, and then by the end of the series, just like kind of done with it, right? And I don't know if you guys have seen the memes online where it's like showing a picture of her happy in a clean vault dweller suit, and it's like first day of work versus like a year in the job, and like she's like bleeding, like disheveled, like dirty, like has half of the Wastelander gear on. Yeah, so it's just like, that's pretty much it.
That's exactly what reminded me of the game, and and then it's just like, but like her base character is still the same. Like that's what I love about the character. It's like still there. She didn't like lose herself as a vault dweller, but it's still, it's also still early in the show. There's more series, but go on, Mike. Go on.
I am a little worried about the way this wrapped up. Actually, if something happened in the end, but we might go into the ending specifically later, but if something happened a little differently, I would think they totally broke her. I don't want her to ever really be totally broken. I still want her to be her. But no, she was a lot of fun, especially early on. You get this sort of awkward, happy-go-lucky like character that tracks with how she grew up in the vault, and or maybe not all in the vaults. Ooh.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, she clearly there was some big reveals in the show for her character that kind of made her, I guess, kind of what she is, who she is, and I don't know. I just loved her growth throughout the whole thing. I thought it was great. Maximus is another character that was in the show, obviously, and that was the brother of Steel. Brotherhood of Steel. Sorry, Brotherhood of Steel. I almost said Brothers of. I said saying Brothers of Steel, and I'm like, why? That's not it. Brotherhood of Steel. Brothers of Steel, Brotherhood of Steel, which he was part of. Now his character was weird for me. Like I just always felt he was just awkward. But I think that's the idea of the character. I guess he's supposed to be like a kid, basically, not really completely innocent in terms of like just he's programmed, right? I mean that's really what we got.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to gauge his age because the actor's my age. He's not young, but obviously we see his backstory of him being a kid and.
I mean,
can't really tell how old
mentally a kid. That's what I'm saying. Like, just mentally, it's not developed.
I guess the Brotherhood of Steel and his storyline is probably my least favorite depiction in this show. I mean, I love the way the power armor looked, but
oh god, that looks so good.
A weird sort of like very religious like tilt on the Brotherhood of Steel. Like I know that the one that we got in Fallout 3 is like the best like branch of the Brotherhood of Steel. They're not really like that normally, but that's what I know. I know them a little bit like the rougher edges in Fallout 4 and stuff like that of the Brotherhood of Steel, but this one was weird. And I didn't really love Maximus until later in the series where his sort of awkwardness was played more comedically. Like when he's in the other vaults, like being lazy, like I'm like, oh, this is fun. I like this version of Maximus. Because I don't know, he was just kind of off-putting to me most of the time.
I feel like I gotta stop you guys. Let's just clear the air here. The Brotherhood is a cult. That's that's the analogy here.
Yes, I never said what Mike said. Yes, it's a cult. It's a religious.
They indoctrinate people. They are. Yeah, they take the kids and they fucking turn them into soldiers. So that's why Maximus might seem childlike because. Yeah. They don't teach them a lot of that stuff, right? It's not like Lucy where they're like, oh, well, we still want to teach them about reproduction and sex and stuff like that. It's, they only need to know what they want them to know. So that's where Maximus's upbringing, takes into account.
All of them.
It's right or wrong. I'm not saying it's a good depiction, but I'm just saying it's understandable. And I know you guys may have only had the impact of the Fallout 3 and Fallout 4, but like they're scumbags. They're absolute pieces of shit. That
They program. I said they programmed the kids.
no,
I mean,
I
not
understand.
not
I'm just
every branch is though, but yeah.
yeah, it's like saying not all cops are bad.
Okay.
There's some good apples out
Anyways, I loved the gags you can have with this show. This is where we had a cameo from what's his name, the actor, the comedian that was
Fred Armisen.
Titus. Yeah, Titus.
Oh no,
Um,
you're talking about Michael Rappaport.
Micah Rappaport, yeah, thank you. As Titus, I thought that was actually funny because I just felt like it was good. People didn't like that. I thought it was fine. But I loved you know what I loved about Maximus' side of things was the carrying the useless sack of full of stuff to like the over encumbered aspect of the game came into play with the massive amount
there.
of
Yeah, basically like golf
equipment.
bag of shit.
Yeah, I mean, I love that. Like, there was a play on the game, and I just love that little bit that they threw in there for it. I don't know. I love the power armor, the way it looked. I loved, like, I just like, I thought that the characters from that, not Maximus himself. Like, I'm kind of undecided how I like that character, but I think that's the point of it. I think you're not supposed to kind of know, is
Are
he kind of
we?
gonna be himself or for himself or some for
But
other people?
do we think he put that razor in his friend's boot, or
No,
his friend did it?
they admitted they
The
did it.
friend admitted to doing it.
Yeah, but was that just taking the fall for him?
No, it
No,
sounded like they were nervous. They said didn't want to go out. They were nervous for it.
Are you sure though that that wasn't
Like,
just covering for him?
yeah, but that wasn't in front of anybody else. They were saying it to Maximus.
Because it seemed weird when it was like,
They admitted to
"Oh,
him
I'm so
directly,
yeah." Oh,
not to
yeah,
the
but
not to the
I don't.
not to the religious
No,
zealots. Like,
I know, but it's just sort of repeating what the official story was. I don't know. I thought it was still left a little unclear.
look. I don't think the way I got the character Maximus is he's not necessarily going to go out for like he's not going to do that kind of thing, but he's not going to necessarily help you if it's not in his best interest. That's what I got from the character. Like, you know, I mean, like he obviously he's like in love with Lucy, obviously that's the little story they're building for that, but that aspect of things, like, so he wanted to rescue her no matter what, but everybody else was a byproduct, you know, and that's it, like, um it didn't matter to him, and that might be the indoctrination of it, what that's kind of like the brotherhood kind of thing.
I mean,
He's
yeah,
like,
it absolutely
your
is,
mission
because the
your
whole
mission
part is, you know, every person and every protagonist we see in the series is about how they survive, right? And that's how Maximus learned how to survive. Is he needed to adapt to the situations that are put in front of him or that he's forced into, right? And his odds of survival, right? And so the thing that I thought was interesting before we knew who had done the razor or the trap in the boot, right? I was like, oh, maybe he did kind of do it, right? Out of jealousy and envy and you know what.
yeah
But then as we quickly saw, right, and he experienced that being a squire is not all it's cracked up to be. You're just basically a punching bag for a dude in
if
power suit armor that can literally just fucking kill you, you know, and have no repercussions at all about that, right? And we saw, you know, with that the yo guy in the cave, right, where the knight Titus is like, "You piece of shit, you motherfucker! Like, get me that fucking stim pack." This, that. He's like, "I don't have to, man." Like,
that's the thing, like, he's not going to go out of his way to help you. That's what I got from the character the whole
well,
time.
it's not necessarily out of the way to help him. It was better for him to let that guy die. That was his survival. Like, he had better odds of just letting that dude fucking die and taking his power armor because you know now he's on his own and has power
That's
armor.
true.
He's just you know
We didn't we didn't see that guy die on screen. You think he's gonna come back
no,
surprisingly
he's
somewhere?
fucking dead. He's fucking
That bear got him.
something
Got him
If
good.
it wasn't
The bear got
him,
him good.
if it wasn't, if he didn't bleed out there, something else got him. He's dead. There's no
Yeah.
way.
I don't know. Off screen. I don't know.
If they did that, I
No.
would think it would be very fucking stupid.
No.
I mean,
No.
there's some pretty, magical stuff that happens in this show anyway.
No, absolutely. I
Like,
just don't see the point of that. Like, he already admitted what happened to the elder. The elder doesn't give a shit.
That elder guy was so shaky. I feel like his health was in like poor situation every time he talked.
I don't know. But I do know that so like the next character is obviously the ghoul or Coop, Cooper. whatever you want
Mm-hmm.
to. Same character here as it gets revealed. I actually enjoyed this character. My second favorite. I think Lucy's my favorite character, but this is my second favorite character without a doubt of the show, and just because of the Western style aspect, I just love that. Um, it works great. I thought he was great as the ghoul. I thought he was great as the actor, which turns out to bring a lot of Fallout stuff into the. He kind of made the thumbs up, right? That was his thing.
Yeah, he becomes sort of like the representation of like the entire world almost, you know.
Yeah.
He was
Mm-hmm.
there before the bombs dropped as like the normal guy, and we see the flashbacks, which normally in something like this I'd be like, ugh,
Mm-hmm.
flashbacks, but I was really way into all of his
No, I
flashbacks
was too. Yeah.
because it explains, you see even before the bombs drop, he goes from sort of the happy-go-lucky like retro futuristic American, like all American dude who just does what his company says and he's happy about it, and then he starts to get skeptical, then he starts to get a little paranoid and angry, and then the bombs drop and he's in a bad place already at that point.
Yeah, we don't have
And
that fill-in yet, so we'll get more of that as we go.
no,
But
and obviously there's some more mystery to go for like what exactly happens when that happens, since apparently he's still looking for his family who is somehow alive, he thinks 200 plus years in the
oh,
future. But so it'll be very interesting to see how that goes. I was waiting for him to sort of grow a little more conscience back earlier than, like, I don't even know if he ever really did either. The closest thing would be, I guess, having him tell Lucy to tag along with him in the end just to like see what's up. But I was a little surprised because I expected him to sort of break good earlier than he did.
yeah. No, I
He just kept doing like shitty thing after shitty thing. It's like I was like, I want to root for this guy, but like he's really like
No,
an
he's
asshole.
he's a bad guy, and like honestly, I appreciate that in a character because like I'm not saying he's a flat out villain, right? I'd say like he's probably the fallen hero type, right?
yeah,
Because
that's what I got from it.
you
Yeah,
could see from even like his first one of the first scenes where it's him as the actor, and he's like hesitant on shooting that dude that's in the movie, right? That's on the ground, and he's like, "Do I really gotta
he had a
shoot him?"
problem with it. Yeah,
He's
he had
like,
a
"Just
problem with it.
fucking shoot the guy in the head, right?" And he's like, "Yeah." And then you flash forward to the future, and he's just like mowing down people left and right, like outright murdering some, like without the like,
Yeah.
"Oh, hey, did you have pie
I
recently or whatever?" I was like,
before I
"Oh,
forget, yeah, before I forget, I
Yeah,
do love that sequence with him about like when he's with going to find the with at that family's house, or was it the
yeah,
family's house where he
that
said
was
like
the roughest one.
where he asked them like, well, no, was it like was he a coward? He said, was he a coward? Like, or was he not? Because it like is he alive? And he said, well, was he a coward? Meaning like was he hiding?
yeah,
I think it was his friend when his friend one of his old friend pulled him into that, like the mayor or the president, right? The president of that's what it was. The president pulled him into that room and they were like interrogating him. He was captured, and
I
he
don't
asked him, was your daddy a coward? That's what he asked the guy. Remember the one guy said, did you
yeah,
did you kill everybody in that place? Philly in Philly. And he's like, I love that line. Like before because I just thought it was so cool because it's like, well, if he wasn't, he's dead. That's basically what he was saying
yeah."
right there. Um, so
But I
but I
mean,
just love that first sequence for the goal for him, like that big sequence for him. Sorry, first big sequence. But
yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is like, and I love how these characters have different strengths because, while like Lucy's has like high charisma, right, and like we talked about like Maximus having, low intelligence, right, because and not to any fault of his own, right, that's his upbringing,
it's indoctrination. Yeah,
right, but
yeah,
like the ghoul, like really, he knows how to push people's buttons in the wrong way, and I feel that
yes,
perfectly captures the game because if you ever do like an evil or like sinister playthrough, like you say shit like that to intentionally like get people
instigate.
provoked
Yeah,
to
yeah,
attack
to
you
instigate.
so you could just kill them, right? Because it's
Yep.
like, whoa, it was in self-defense, right? And he did that in that first town sequence where like, yeah, he assaulted the doctor, right? But then, you know, everybody like when what's her name put the bounty on his head, he just started fucking killing anybody that shot at him. He's just like, I don't care, like you shoot at me,
Yep.
you're dead,
Yep.
right?
Yeah. No, it was amazing that sequence. I thought it was crazy. Uh, and then like that, bringing the dog into the situation, dog meat. What do we think of dog meat in the show with that? Like, so now that story was interesting. I didn't know where we were going with that at first with the scientist. I thought he was gonna have a bigger role. That was the guy from Lost, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was surprised he
that
made it
actor.
as long as he did, to be honest.
No, I don't know. I thought he was gonna be in it a little longer. I guess myself, but I guess.
We
But with Dogmeat there, Dogmeat was a weird. I thought Dogmeat got killed, and then obviously the ghoul, healed him
that
up.
was
But
stim packs are magic a little, even more than I expected in this in this show. But whatever. Dog Meat was mostly there just to be like a fun reference. I feel like wasn't and to help explain how he could track the
Right,
guy's
yeah.
head for so long.
Yeah.
It was fine. Dog Meat, it's cute, I guess. But
a little story for
we
him.
need a lot more. And I'm sure we will get probably most of it. A lot more explanation about, I guess, the Enclave and what's going on there and why they have this cold fusion thing and why he wanted to escape and how he knew to do it and how that turret missed him so much in the beginning. That was silly, but yeah, there's a lot of questions with the Enclave, and what they're doing, and I think the Enclave shouldn't really even exist at this point, but it does. So
Yeah.
No,
that's
they should.
interesting too.
This is the farthest
I
along
thought
the
they were
Fallout timeline.
wiped out. I know. I thought they were wiped out in something earlier, but maybe that was again regional because there's lots of
Right.
regional things.
I'm trying to remember.
The new
But,
New
yeah.
California Republic, was that like what's the I don't know the Fallout New Vegas?
That's New Vegas. They're basically like Lucy sort of said when she saw the sign. They're basically the people trying to make America again. Um, Basically, they want to recreate the government as it was as close as they could.
Mhm.
They're they're the closest things to good guys, I think, in New Vegas, even though they're a little overzealous and like controlling. But they're basically want return to the status quo.
Yeah.
But they obviously mostly got wiped out
Yeah.
in this situation in this show again.
Yeah. So let's talk like vaults. We had the main characters. Obviously, there's a lot of good side characters in those vaults.
I love the whole side. I just want to say, I enjoyed the vault sequences and scenes a lot more than I thought they would. Because at the beginning, when they went back to the brother, I forget his name off the top of my head. I was like,
I didn't like the brother at first.
I was like, I don't want to follow this weenie, this fucking nerd.
Yeah, no, I don't think you're supposed to at first, but obviously he grows on you.
No, he grows on you. Yeah.
So I think they
he
did
some balls, basically.
Yeah.
No, I liked how their character progression was so well done. Like it was so well done. Even we talked about the ghoul, we talked about Lucy, we talked about her brother. I can't remember his name right now. Usually I was really good with the names, but unbelievable. I actually it's just crazy. I just love the Vault Society. They capture that so perfectly from what you would think it was with the games. It nails it.
Yeah, and really I appreciate it because in the Fallout games, one of the things I most enjoy about it is finding these vaults, right? And for people who might not have played the games, basically almost every vault is some weird, either scientific or social experiment where things can be pretty good to pretty bad, right? Where it's we want to research cannibalism and how fast people would resort to that in close space. It's what the fuck,
or it's let's just pump in LSD gas into certain sections of this vault periodically, see what happens.
Yeah, see what.
I love how they how they brought that story into it with the companies. By the way, in the show.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah. What I appreciated was that we got that angle from the series, right? Because I didn't think we were going to get that moving in because I don't think they really showed much of it. So I appreciate that we had that brother's point of view because we got that mystery of the vault and okay, this is cool. It kept me being you just get a little bit more information as he's exploring vault, whatever it was, 32 or
31,
whatever
31.
it was, right?
Yeah, 32 is the messed up one. Yeah,
and it's oh shit is going on here, right? Yeah.
Well, we got a little bit of that. Yeah, go on.
I do think it's also funny that was it 32 the one where it looked like they were definitely evil and it turns out they were just kind of weird and recovering from worse shit that happened in the past. It's and then just let them go. It's yeah, we're good.
No, 32 was the one where everybody was dead.
31, 32, and 33 were connected.
They're linked. Yeah, the one they went to
this one was 5 or something, right?
Yeah. Vault 4, I think it was. But so they had the Cyclops in it. That was weird, but yes. I think that was a weird vault. But they were just trying to be nice. But that was a funny sequence too with Maximus. Sorry, sorry. Uh, but yeah, I just like love the vault's sceneries. The music mixed in with it was fantastic. With that, they knew
I
when they knew
do.
what music to play all the time too, which is great.
Yeah, I was waiting for like the, main Fallout theme a little bit. I was from the games. I was like a little disappointed I didn't get it too much, but then when it finally hit, I'm like, oh, there it is. And I think the first time they really play it is when Lucy's checking out,
The NCR
the
flag.
blackboards that showed, yeah, the NCR and what happened to what's it called? New Springs? Good Springs? No, that's see, I played actual New Vegas. That's wrong. What is the name of the town they blew up?
Tanty or fuck it, what was
Whatever. The
it? Yeah,
new
the new city. Yeah.
NCR capital or whatever that got
Yeah,
nuked. Um, I it's interesting too because now we have like Moldiver or whatever. You're chasing her, and everyone is so scared of her. And they say she's like a raider, but then it turns out she's just the leader of like the remnants of the NCR. And the only thing that makes that weird is why are all of the people who came in and killed everyone in the vault with her so fucking crazy and clearly raidery? Like, what's up
yeah.
with that?
I don't. Well, I mean, because maybe she hired them to go
Yeah,
into the vault.
that
That's
was
what I'm
my
thinking.
impression that she just hired raiders because like all those people in that first episode seemed to legitimately be raiders.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think that's what happened because when they went to the city that little fort they were with, didn't seem like the same people. So,
No, and
um,
as represented for the flashback that we get, that the NCR situation was almost idyllic. It seemed as if, and people were chilling in a good way
Mm-hmm.
mostly, and that's not what she brought to the vault. So I don't know if we're really supposed to fully trust everything she said, but I guess we're supposed to trust her more than the father now.
Oh,
but yeah, we know
absolutely.
that story. So that's the thing. Like, let's go to that ending. End the show. Like, essentially, is like, you know, we get the vault mystery solved with them doing experiments. We get the reason why she kidnapped the father in the beginning. Obviously, he's one of the major ups for the vault tech stuff, and I love that it intertwines so well with the back, the flashbacks. I just love that with Cooper. Um,
You got you got two major reveals at once there, and the other reveal was what I appreciated the most because it sort of pushes the general Fallout lore forward.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
yeah,
that's, I mean, it's been somewhat implied, but never really said that. Here we get, that flashback where you see de-aged. What's the actor's name? I forgot
I
his name.
forget the actor. I know you're talking about the father, but yeah,
Yeah, Dune One, original Dune guy. Uh, Kyle McLaughlin. There we go.
Yeah.
De-aged Kyle McLaughlin. They're talking, but you know, Cooper not listening because he's lost his, he's in shock because he heard that his wife suggested that, well, yeah, Vault-Tec, let's just drop the bombs first. Let's make sure it happens. Pull tomorrow never dies. That's not what she said, but that's what I
yes,
thought of. So that's crazy because the whole thing is like who shot first. Well, it was actually Vault-Tec.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy, but I guess it tracks and it makes them the like major villain of the entire universe, basically.
Uh,
Um,
all
so
the
that was cool.
corporations were in on it. That's the idea. Like the mega villains, all of it. So, you know, but
sure, but I mean,
Voltec
it's
was the
still
Um,
like
lead.
Vault-Tec that was the
Voltec's the lead.
one
I get it. I
behind
get
them,
it. Yeah,
right? It's like,
I think
yeah,
Vault-Tec's the only one that's still around too. So
well, I
yeah.
in
mean,
any
we did see
capacity.
my favorite cameo was Mr. House in that flashback sequence.
Yeah, where was he? Was he one of the
He was one of the
people
people
in
in
the
the
board?
yeah,
Yeah.
um,
Um. So yeah,
because
I think. Yeah, go on.
Oh,
Go
he's
on.
dead because I killed him in New Vegas. But whatever.
right,
Yeah.
was he's the major player, one of the major players in the New Vegas campaign because he's one of the people that's wrestling for control of the city and stuff like that. And with the post credit scene or the last sequence, we'll get to that, but
Yeah, we're moving on to that
yeah,
soon.
no, I mean, I really appreciate it because it felt rewarding that hey, I'm watching the show not only just to be entertained, but like for a purpose, right? Where
There's more.
yeah, as a Fallout fan, like you're being rewarded as in like, hey, we know you haven't gotten a new game in a while, so here's some content and
Well,
some lore. And yeah, there's an
To add
asterisk
to your
there,
mix.
right?
Yeah. No, I love that. And yeah, the big reveal for the Vault 31 storing all of the higher ups there in like cryo freeze.
That was
That was
crazy.
interesting.
I didn't see that
Yeah, that
coming
was crazy.
myself. I was like,
Yeah, I did not.
I
Yeah.
expected some kind of fuckery, obviously, right? But like, I was like, oh,
That's
straight
just
up
it's a storage
cryo.
it's a
Yeah.
storage vault. That's all it is. Yeah. It's crazy.
and that, but yeah, and then that's why they were all the managers. I guess the
His-
purpose of Lucy's vault was to just have the managers and then have people reproduce.
That's
I
the
don't
reproduction
remember.
one. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was one of the better vaults. Remember that his wife
Yeah.
kept talking about in the
Mhm.
past. But I really want to say that I love the.
Was wait was yeah.
What's that?
I wanted to
No,
say.
I was just wondering if sorry
Go, you go. You
if
go.
that was supposed to be. I'm just wondering if that specific vault is the one that was supposed to be the one she was trying to get in. I mean, we don't know that, I guess, but she's probably. I bet she's.
Yeah, we
frozen
don't
in there.
know. I have a sinking feeling that we'll find out in season 2 what happened to their daughter. If
Yeah.
she's still around, because I think that would just be the obvious angle to go and introduce drama for the ghoul, character arc and stuff like that. But that's just my
Yeah.
guess there. What I really appreciated was the one dude that Cooper hated. I forget his name. The basically president or CEO or whatever. How like the brother goes into Vault 31. I think it was 31. And like you just see that robot, which is like a brain in a jar attached to a Roomba,
Yeah.
basically. Like I just love that he's like, oh, let me move this out of the way, and it's like, wait, who are you? And it's like, oh, you're the kid. Well, I can't let you leave. And he's like, just stand still. While and he like
Yeah.
took out like a syringe. Let me just.
He's trying to stab him with a syringe. Yeah.
It's like,
No, don't move so fast. Yeah.
It was pretty funny to me that this big mystery that they wanted to hide was solved by him just walking down the hall, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
no
It was
one
so close.
bothered to do that.
Yeah.
it's like don't go through
But
that door.
yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I
We
the
also
finale.
we need to learn how Moldiver also obviously cryoed herself somehow.
That's the thing. Like, is
How did
she
that come
actually
about?
dead, or is that like what
Oh,
is
she's dead.
like? Yeah. Okay.
I think she's probably dead, but I don't know how she got to that point. Because clearly she was not part of Voltec.
Yeah, we learned
That's
that
for sure.
story.
I think
Yeah.
I think the obvious implication there that was the mother that helped her.
I missed that part. Did they really?
mean?
You think that was implied?
Yeah.
Lucy's mom. Lucy's
Lucy's
mom,
mom.
who was the who was the ghoul there, or the dead thing that was there,
Yeah.
was Lucy's mom, and that was implied. I didn't catch that, so I know what you meant now. I didn't really
That
catch
was
that.
my
so.
read on it.
Well, I read that. Well, that Lucy's mom. I thought Lucy's mom wasn't a Vault-Tec person though.
No, she was in a vault. She left the vault.
Yeah, I don't think she was a Vault-Tec person, but she was part of the vault.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were
She had to know the story. She
Yeah.
had to know of everything. Yeah.
because
But-
she's
So
Again, Moldiver was from 200 plus years ago, so she was before anyone born in a vault was born.
yeah. I'm trying to think. It's not fresh in my head now.
No, I
yeah,
mean,
I'll
I
look
think she probably just got in or snuck in somehow with Vault-Tec, I would say, or somehow.
yeah. All right.
I mean, there's more story to find there. I am glad if we go to the very end that,
Mhm.
like I said, that Lucy did not actually kill her dad. I think
Mhm.
that would have broken her too much. And I don't love that they made him like full on like a total asshole that killed their mother. Basically, I think that's I don't know. I didn't like that. I wanted him
I think
to
it's
be more
driving the
like a
point
gray-
home.
gray
I think it's
area.
driving. No, I think it's driving the point home of Vault-Tec and how bad they are.
I suppose.
It's giving a
I
face
don't
to the corporation. That's what it's doing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it just because I expect that kind of thing out of the Fallout games because, a lot of it is like it's very dark and it's the comedy that really helps like make you be like, oh, this is entirely
Yeah.
depressing, like something like
Yes,
Last of Us or
yeah.
whatever like that.
Is the comedy has to be there for it. Yeah.
But I just thought it really secured and cemented her father as being like an absolute piece of shit. It's like, okay, it's not like questionable anymore how involved he was, right? It wasn't like, oh, you're just some run of the mill Vault Tech employee. It's like, no, you were upper management. You were, privy to a lot of their knowledge and inner secrets, and you even sacrificed your wife for the company profits and experiments, stuff like that. So it's like,
yeah. So what did you guys think of the post credits?
I'm excited.
I'm
New
excited.
Vegas.
I mean, I don't
Best
even know
Vegas.
much about the story yet. Mike, you got to be super psyched, right?
No, yeah, New Vegas. Like I said, I didn't realize that there was Mr. House there too, so I expect him to be alive in this playthrough, maybe, and that we will see him.
Yeah. So that is the interesting thing that a lot of the community has been speculating on, right? Because there are very few signs which were the canonical endings, right? Because all these games have multiple different endings that you can take. And one of them is the fate of New Vegas and who is in charge of it at the end of the game. And like Mike was alluding to, you can just kill Mr. House in a couple of these. And with this being 20 years, I think, past New Vegas in the timeline, it'll be interesting where they fall on that canon. Hey, this is the canon that we're going.
I would love for it to be New Vegas run by the Courier. That would be funny. That's the player character.
Maybe.
And
who knows what we're gonna get?
You basically take Mr. House's place and run the place yourself.
Can you, or is like I don't know. I'm playing the game. Never mind. Don't ask too many questions about the game. But even though it's been out forever, I understand there's spoilers out there. But again, I'm playing the game. The show got me wanting to play what New Vegas is. I'm like, oh, what is this? So it got me interested. That's what I love about it. It's fantastic handoff to the gaming world.
Mm-hmm.
Here you
because you like the ghouls so much, like New Vegas is definitely more of a like Fallout 3. It's like, oh, I'm looking for my dad. Fallout 4, it's like, oh, I'm looking for my son.
Yeah.
New Vegas is like, I'm looking for revenge.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. So it is a revenge story. It's great. So I'm excited for what season 2 is going to bring, without a doubt. I can't wait. Obviously, I really hope it was in pre-production already. I hope it was.
Yeah, I really hope we get it within 2 years or so. Like that would be my pie in the sky scenario for that.
They obviously only recently renewed it, but if they had started pre-production on before official renewal, we might get it end of next year, maybe probably early 2026. I'm thinking is what the more like a February March launch again. So that's what I'm thinking could happen. And this time around, I bet you it's weekly releases. I don't think they're gonna release the whole series at once. Absolutely. Yeah, but I think so. Right? Water cooler talk.
Yeah,
you need it. You already have it, but would be even more.
I think they might have been worried, and it's weird, right? Because like as we get more information as consumers, but also the companies get that. I feel like when you go the binge method, it's kind of like they want to get they want to keep people's interest, right? I think in this modern era of like TikTok mini, consumption of content, right? Where it's like 2-3 minutes at tops, right?
Yeah.
Like if they feel like somebody sat down to watch 30 minutes to 60 minutes of an episode, they're like, get them watching the next one, right? Get them watching the next one. Because I just, that's my guess.
They'll lose interest too fast.
It's like,
they get distracted.
Right?
Yeah.
Because, and I'll point, right, to Invincible Season 2 again, right? Where it's like, oh, we took a break and kind of just, our momentum was halted.
And lost it. Absolutely. I'm not saying, please do not take a break mid-season on this. I'm just saying release them weekly. Yeah. So. All right.
But overall, great show, and I just want to shout out the locations, the CGI, the effects, the practical ones, the costuming. Yeah. All that was fantastic. Like, there were very few points where I ever was like, "Oh, I don't believe this," right? Like, I don't think I've.
Usually the stim packs. That was about it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. But like everything, I was like, "Wow, the sets are great. Like the costuming, all that stuff, just fantastic." Really, like I couldn't have asked for a better adaptation.
I thought it was great. Fantastic.
Ghoul medicine was a new weird thing too.
Which one?
We think it's ghoul medicine. Is it ghoul medicine? We don't know that yet.
There's two types of ghoul medicine. There's the ghoul medicine that keeps the ghoul from going feral.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
and then there's ghoul medicine that turns you into a ghoul.
We don't know if that's what we got. Yeah, but maybe that's what we got. But we do.
I feel bad for that guy. We didn't talk about him. In the
it's okay. But he was fine though. He's good.
I enjoyed his back and forth and like the chemistry he had with Maximus, aka Titus. And just to go back real quick, like I loved how like Maximus was so unhinged in the first half of the series because like he went from like, oh, I'm bonding with this guy. I'm gonna brand this motherfucker. And then like he's like, damn it, I knew I shouldn't have said anything. And he's like trying to kill him. I'm like, oh my god, like Maximus, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So, all right. I think it's going to wrap up the spoiler cast, folks. Hope you enjoyed this episode. More spoiler cast coming your way, probably for the X-Men next. So stay tuned for that stuff. Check out the regular episodes if you're just viewing this on Twitch or on YouTube. Subscribe and like and leave us a comment. It's going to wrap it up. Thanks for listening. We'll see you guys soon.